Promotion Studio in beautiful downtown Christiana, Delaware, it's the Tim Qualls Show.
Tonight, Tim welcomes J.P. Pelletier, Gene Foley, and Mario Badavani, and Kevin Power.
Thank you. That's all for you, Gene.
Thank you.
It wasn't much
Thanks,
of
Mom.
it. I was going to say,
that
it wasn't much
monitor
of
would
it,
work
but
for you, but it's still aimed for his
sounds
monologue.
a lot when there's only 3 people out there doing it, and they're all paid. Gene, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on, Tim. I appreciate it.
I'm just loving it more and more the more I read about you and things. I did have a chance. I didn't read your book entirely, but I had a chance to glance through it.
At the front cover.
The front cover, back cover.
I didn't read it entirely.
I glanced. No, I did. I went through it a little bit and just wanted to catch on a couple of things because I was interested in what all, and you cover every aspect of getting started to get into the big times, and don't forget about once you get to the big times to keep working on your craft.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a great book. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, artist development, and but before we talk about that, to be able to write a book of artist development, you have to, I'd say, have at least been a has-been. And so you has been there. You're still there now because
right, exactly.
Foley Entertainment, is it?
Exactly.
And you guys handle your agency.
Exactly. Everything: promotional, business, legal, marketing, media buying.
Right.
Someone on the staff does it. We try to wear many hats.
Yeah, and something I never even thought about, because when you think about agents, you think about a guy that represents maybe a football player, basketball
Like
player,
artists.
a musician, but you know, producers.
Yeah. Major label executives.
Yeah, I never thought about them having an agent. I guess they need somebody
Sure.
to go
Someone
in.
to look out for them for their employment contracts and career advice, and session musicians. We'll get calls all the time from major label acts. Oh, I need a piano player, I need a trumpet player, cello player, whatever, and you send a musician in to play a major records.
Do you need an older, chubby, mediocre singer?
Yes, give me your card after.
Dave!
But one of the things, just sitting here, chatting with you just a second ago, is some of the people that you have supplied directors, producers for, you two, Dave Matthews.
Santana, Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, wow.
A lot of big names.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh,
big names.
Ozzy, that's my favorite there.
Oh,
Ozzy. I don't know about his music, but I love his TV show. Burrito. That's about all I could ever get out of him. But you know, I'm just tickled to death that you're here, because I the more I find out about it, because you're not. You know, because we've had different people on that, you know, represent local bands and things like this, but you have clients that have earned almost 40 gold and platinum records, and you know, so you've dealt with some of the big boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We've been nominated for 13 Grammy Awards since we started the business in '89, and won 3 times, 3 out of the 13. So
That's
not the best
bad.
of odds, but we'll take it.
Hey, I tell you, one is an accomplishment in itself. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, as far as, because I want to talk a little bit about the book. I want people, especially people that are looking to get into it, because like you were saying in there, looking at it, you know, you got all these people watching American Idol, and it's everybody's dream to be that. I mean, you know, people that can't sing even, you know, a drop, they still have that dream of being that. So with your book, it kind of tells you where to get started.
Exactly.
I mean, let's go chapter 1 first of all. You know, just getting started. What do you?
Right. Get started with, you know, just developing the act, getting your songs where they have to be, putting your press kit together, the bio and the website and the, you know, all that. Then it moves on to recording and producing and actually having a good product.
Right.
Then the next phase you'd move on to publicity, radio promotion, touring, all the things now to get your music out there.
Because I hate to interrupt you, because coming through there, I was noticing in each chapter as you get to it and everything, marketing. I mean, that is pretty much there all the way through the book. I mean, that's a big part of it. And unless you have somebody like yourself that's representing them, then should they go out there? What's the best way? Should they go out there knocking on doors, or should they go find a good agent?
I think it's probably the best bet, because a lot of times people who don't have a budget to hire a publicity firm, an agency, a radio promoter, they try to do it on their own, and without having the right connections, you often don't get past the gatekeeper.
Right.
So sometimes people will try it.
Approach our gatekeeper, you tell you he's the boss too. Where's Frank at? No. He's got cards for everything.
I have a job for him.
Yeah, but it's very interesting to me that you know, that what made you the book? I mean,
I think, you know, we have a program for over 12 years now that any recording artist could send in their CD, and we give them a free evaluation just so they know how close they are. Because everyone's mom and dad tell them how great they are, but sometimes people really don't know.
Is that why Prince was talking to you earlier?
Exactly, he called us a minute ago. No.
Yeah.
But people will send it in and we'll tell them, and they almost get a report card style document. We'll tell you, music, lyrics, image, you name it, all the important topics on how you're stacking up, so you could have an honest assessment if you're close or not.
We have a guy locally, and it might be your agency even. I'm not sure. Anthony Galuccio.
Oh, right.
Oh, I've heard of him. He's a guitar player, great guitar player.
Yeah, and
Sure.
And I was just talking to his dad. He has now got it, because for years he's out there, and this guy is phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard
everybody
about him.
locally
Sure.
knows, and he now has an agent that's putting some things together. So it looks like he's going to be taking off. But I didn't know if maybe you got him.
No, I know of him. I know that he's a great guitar player on the scene. Matter of fact, one of my clients is a friend with him. That's how I know them, through a mutual friend, and I've heard he's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but you communicate with MTV, Fox, NBC.
VH1. We do a lot of consulting for the big media giants and New York Times, a lot of big things like that. Forbes magazine we've consulted to, and for music industry pieces.
I tell you, it's just a pleasure to have you come down here. If you want to learn a little bit more about Foley Enterprises Entertainment, you can go to www.foleyentertainment.com and find out more about that. The book itself, I guess they can get that
Barnes
through
&
there.
Noble, you can do it on my website or in any Barnes & Noble store in America or Canada.
Yeah, so there it is. And if you're out there and you're thinking about becoming an artist, I'm telling you, just glancing through it, like I said, it is full of great information. You definitely want to pick it up. It's called Artist Development, and it's once again by Gene Foley. Gene, thank you for coming down.
Hopefully
you'll come back. Maybe you'll bring some artists around with you.
That would be great.
We're going to have a lot of
Absolutely.
fun. Stay with us, because speaking of artists, maybe you want to stick around. Maybe we can get Mario a real job.
left.
All right.
So we'll be right back right after this.
All right, that's good, right?